Right now we have a green that's flashing, and it takes a little bit, but it eventually comes up. And we are live. Holy shit. We are on time for 2 weeks in a row.
We rock.
Oh,
We're amazing.
we are amazing. Well, you're amazing, anyways.
We got our shit together. We finally figured it out after what, 3 months?
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things where we come on and we just kind of have fun. And sometimes we forget that we actually have a time that we have to hit.
I know, because we get talking, right? We have so much to say and we just have such a good time. So what are you going to do?
Well, it's one of those things where when we get together, we're like, a couple of schoolgirls giggling, doing an open, the sleepover. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm sorry. That's the only reference I have because I've got two little schoolgirls that used to have sleepovers all the time. When I was a kid, I didn't get that opportunity. So whatever,
Yeah.
what it is.
That's funny. That's
So
funny.
We are live to Facebook using a brand new program, a brand new platform, Lightstream. So yes, we are now powered by Lightstream, and I hope this works out for us because if it doesn't, I really don't want to go back to Be Live. I just don't.
Yeah. I know, right? So how do we know whether people are commenting? Like, I can't see. If you're watching, this is really cool. It's really cool for us, like in the back end, but I can't, how do we know?
Well, I don't
people comment.
I'm still learning this here. I mean, bear with me here for just a little bit. There might be a little bit of a learning curve here, folks. Little bit. When I say a little bit, I've got a guru. I said it. I said the G word. I know. I'm sorry, Drew. I'm sorry. So
we've got people.
We know people who are people.
Yeah.
I'll ask them. They'll help me out. So instead, I am going to turn down the volume of my phone, and I'm just going to go on into the Facebook app on the phone. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at too. Oh, look at that. Is that ever pretty? That looks pretty snazzy. Ooh,
wow.
I like this new platform.
Yeah, this is definitely worth sharing out. Share it out.
Just share the shit out of it because it just looks so nice.
We have to share the shit out of this one. This is huge because, like I said, we're on a new platform. We're talking sports, and that's not, our normal genre. I know, I get it. But there's a reason why we're talking sports tonight.
Yes.
And I tell you what, this whole sports thing, it's nuts. It's nuts in my house anyways. I've got 4 women that live with me. My 2 daughters, my sister-in-law, and my wife. And sports and football season starts next Thursday.
I thought it was tomorrow.
No, it's next Thursday.
I thought it was tomorrow.
I wish it was tomorrow, because then they would actually shut up. They would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Bobby said it was tomorrow.
Well, then Bobby's probably right because Bobby's a sports guy. I know.
Oh yeah.
I'll admit it. Okay, there it is. I just said it. I'm not the sports guy. I don't care to watch sports all day long. I like one football team. I like one baseball team, and I like one hockey team. I will watch their games only. That's it. I don't care.
And people probably think you're major sports nut. So we want to talk about this because there's some people you'd think that are total rabid sports fans and some that aren't. And something that I've really noticed, or maybe everybody has noticed, there are a lot more female sports fans, and I'm noticing female football sports fans. What is up with that? I don't get that. Is it because women and men do more together now, and women are going, oh, I kind of like this? Or do women just feel that they can say that they're sports fans now? Or I don't know. I like what? Like what? Why? I don't get it. Like
You know,
I
I
don't.
I think what it is people have that opportunity to get behind something, and you hear it all the time. It's when they talk about their favorite team, they say we, like they're part of the team, and that is
Yeah.
always bothered me because I play sports. I love playing sports, softball, hockey, football, whatever. I love playing sports. I cannot stand watching sports. So those people who don't necessarily get the opportunity to go out and play so much, those are the ones that you see that seem to be your when I say rabid sports fan, they know the players, they know the stats, they know everything about them. I don't. I barely can name 3 or 4 people that play for the Vikings. I love watching them, but it doesn't mean
Mhm.
I'm gonna consume my life with them.
Yeah. So here I put it out on my Facebook page asking about, where my ladies football fans at. Um, and someone commented, which is exactly what you just said. And she said, my friend Ann Nicholson said, all all sport fanatic here, team sports, individual sports, pros and amateurs. Why? It's fun to be part of, push yourself and set goals, stress reliever, etc., and fun to support athletes who dedicate themselves and strive to be the best they can be. In my perfect world, this would be how differences would be solved. Go back to competitive games like the bone game used by our First Nations ancestors to solve disagreements.
Wow, that's an amazing response, to be honest with you, because I have said that I don't know how many times. If 2 nations have a problem, put them up against each other. Hey, set up, play hockey. I don't care. Do something that's competitive and non-destructive.
Well,
Let
some sports can be destructive. I mean, look at the bull. Look at the matadors and the bulls and some running of the bulls and the Romans that fought, and
Yeah, but
that's pretty
come on.
brutal.
This is today. I mean, the running of the bulls, is that really a sport? Other than the fact that some poor guy is running his ass off because he doesn't want a second hole in there. That is the only thing that's sport about that. But then you look at what happens after they get him into the ring and the bullfighter, yole, and blah, blah, blah. And they kill the damn bull. They kill the damn bull. What the hell? That's not a sport.
I know.
That's, to me, that's like going down to your local slaughterhouse, picking one out and say, hey, he looks like hamburger. I want a T-bone off that. Come on,
Yeah.
that's not a sport.
Yeah. But, and yeah, settle it with a rather than involving whole nations and millions of dollars and aircraft and these huge wars. But yeah, I thought that was I loved that she answered that comment. And I know she's a super sports fan. When she got married, her and her husband were on skis at the top of some ski mountain in a popular place here in British Columbia. So, I mean, and they're always active. And, I see the posts on Facebook. So I know they're huge sports. Now, I didn't grow up in a sports household. My dad didn't watch sports. My brother did. So if he happened to be over, he quite a bit older than me. But if he happened to be over, of course, he was watching hockey. And that was the only sports thing that I was around. My first husband, he wasn't a sports person either. Didn't play them, didn't watch them. So I've never been subjected to having, to watch a lot of sports, to be like the sport widow. I don't mind playing them. I'm one of those that I would rather play than watch. But I will watch, and what I do love is the Winter Olympics.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that there's anybody in the world who doesn't love the Olympics, whether it's the Winter Olympics or Summer Olympics.
I don't like the summer. I could do without summer. I don't watch any of the summer. Don't like it at all. I like the winter.
What is it about the Summer Olympics you don't like?
I don't know. I think they're boring.
There's a sport for everybody. Now, I hate the television coverage during the Olympics. Absolutely freaking hate it. Mainly because the coverage, the television coverage sucks, because it's like soon as you start getting into one sport, they all of a sudden flip it, and now that you're watching like fencing. Who watches fencing? I don't. So if I'm sitting there trying to watch, women's basketball, for example, and all of a sudden they switch it over to fencing, I don't care about it. I don't want to watch fencing.
Well, see, you're watching the wrong Olympics. You have to watch the Winter Olympics.
Do the same thing in the Winter Olympics. Soon as you start
Yeah, they
getting the skeleton, this guy is going downhill face first on a freaking sled 2 inches above the ice, knowing that he is going to die. He is going to die.
I know, crazy, isn't it? It's
And then
freaking crazy.
Yeah, and then they go and they switch it over. The guy just crosses the finish line. He hasn't died, and all of a sudden, hey, we're gonna watch curling.
And who the hell wants to watch that?
Yeah, you go from an adrenaline rush to now you've got to take a nap because
Paint
you
drying.
just did a complete adrenaline dump. It's like, what the hell?
You know why they do that? I think they do that because they want to show you like an important game or important part of a game, and it could be like the winning. I think that's why they do that.
Whatever the reason is, I think that the television coverage sucks. Period. I don't like. I would rather be able to have like the Olympic Network, where you can subscribe to the games the way you want to watch them. Kind of like a on-demand type of deal. If the United States is wrestling against Russia, I want to see that match. I want to see those guys battling it out because that is where that ever since the Cold War, that has been the big thing during the Summer Olympics. Now, if we're talking Winter Olympics, the only thing I want to watch is the hockey tournament. I want to see how Canada does. I want to see how the U.S. does. And I want to see those two teams in the finals.
And the women's hockey team kicks ass.
Oh, yeah. Oh, got to see the
Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the women's hockey. I just love the fact that almost 70% of the Canadian women's hockey team plays hockey in the United States at the University of Minnesota. That is pretty fabulous.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You check out the women's hockey teams, the USA, if you look at the USA, Team USA, you get a lot of Boston College, you get a lot of North Dakota, you get a lot of Michigan. But then when you go to Canada, the Canadian team, you see a lot of University of Minnesota, University of North Dakota, and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting to see where a lot of these women are going and where they're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, I do quite like that. For someone who's not sports, I mean, I played some sports, but yeah, I do. I got to say, I do like the Winter Olympics. 2010, we had the Winter Olympics here just across the water in Vancouver. That was a huge deal because the Olympics had never been close to us. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to go over to watch anything, which I really wanted to. But I like the Winter Olympics. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I just think it's amazing what they do. I love the figure skating. I love the bobsledding. I love everything. Now, I don't know if you remember, and this has always stuck in my mind, in 1998 Winter Olympics, there was a snowboarder.
Okay. I thought you were going to talk about when Canada froze the loonie in the ice and they won the gold medal because of the loonie in the ice.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. No, this was unbelievable. This was a big story in 1998 Winter Olympics. Ross, and even if I wrote his name down, I wouldn't pronounce it properly. It was like Rebliati or something like that. Young guy, snowboarder, born here in Vancouver, BC. Unbelievable snowboarder. He won the gold medal. Like, the guy was incredible. Won the gold medal. Had a blood test, was stripped of the gold medal because they found THC in his blood. and huge uproar. I mean, I live where, like, we're known to be like have the good green stuff, right? So major uproar. And even I was like, what the hell? Now, if you can do that shit stoned, you deserve 2 gold medals, because most people can only like fill their face. And you are taking this away from a guy who can do that?
This is a sport
Smoking a
that
joint?
this is a sport though where you have to be stoned in order to do some of the stuff they do. There is absolutely no possible way you can put your body into the situations that they do without being high. There's no
Yeah, but
way.
how do you even have the energy? Like, how do you even get your ass up to friggin' do that?
It's not a performance enhancing drug. That's for damn sure. However,
no. But then it was returned to him because THC is not on the list of banned drugs.
I thought that was as hell because I did see that. And the thing is Michael Phelps, he tested positive for THC, and this was at the Olympics after that. So since from that time from 1998 to 2000, they actually put THC on the banned substance list. So Michael Phelps,
and that is so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that is so dumb. Like, I laugh really hard for 15 minutes. I eat some food and I am done. I can't lift my arm. I mean, that's not now because I don't now, but years ago when I have, like, how do you even want to do anything? I think,
yeah, I'm the same way.
Kudos to you. Like, kudos to you that you can get up and like be active.
That's why I choose not to partake when they're saying, hey, you want to hit? No, I don't. It's not because I don't like feeling a little bit, airy. It's because that shit puts me to sleep. It just knocks the hell out. There is no, that is it. That is like the end of my evening. Take a hit, done. You're going to bed.
Exactly.
I don't even stop for munchies. I don't even go to the munchie line. I just go straight to bed.
Oh, no munchies?
Oh. No munchies. I've never, that was not me. When I did smoke the green, like you say, yeah, I did not get into the munchie. Now, I will also say that I was an avid skateboarder growing up, and that was very much a part of that culture. So I understand why these snowboarders, I mean, it's part of that snowboard culture. It is what it is. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially here.
Yeah. Well, here, now Colorado has made it legal. I guarantee you, everybody in that pipe is freaking high. And I'm not talking about the 1080s and the freaking whatever you want to call those tricks. They are literally freaking high. So, it's just, you take away the culture of the sport, and that sport no longer exists the way we enjoy it as viewers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
was quite the thing. Yeah, quite the thing. Well, so you played sports see, I played softball when I was younger. I played grass hockey.
Grass hockey. So field hockey, right?
Yeah, here they called it grass hockey.
Okay.
And holy shit, man, I've never had so many bruised shins. What a freaking sport. Like, whose idea was that? Hard sticks and hit with little ends on them and hit as hard as you can. And you're hitting shins.
I suppose it's no different really than, say, playing any kind of hockey. Because
you're pretty close together. The sticks are short, the ends are short. You're close together. You're fighting for a little tiny freaking ball. You're bound to get hurt. I did like it though.
Yeah, the one sport that I always wanted to play so bad and I never really got to play it competitively. And I think I would have been a world champion if they would have had this. And I don't know if you guys have ever played this up there, but we called it pickleball.
Oh, I've heard
It,
of that.
yeah, you got this little wooden paddle and a little round wiffle ball like thing, and it's like tennis, only you play indoors in a gym, kind of on a badminton court, only with the. I was freaking stud at that game.
Mm.
No,
Did you?
all joking aside, I just like the name of the game, pickleball. I just thought it was fun. I
But
sucked
you
at it
played
real.
other sports, didn't you?
I did. I
Did you
played
play?
in high school. You know, from the time I was about 5 years old, I started wrestling, and
That's right.
all the way through high school, I wrestled. I played baseball, and I played a little bit of football. I sucked at it. I get it. I'm too short. I was in high school. I was like 100. I was 4'11", 102 pounds. There's no place on
Wow.
the football field for someone that tiny. It's just no, you don't belong there. So
Wow.
instead of playing football, I concentrated on wrestling because that was a sport that it was individual and weight classes. Baseball didn't really matter how tall or how big I was. I just loved the game. And then
Hmm.
I tried track once. I decided that running really sucks. Don't like to run. And
Oh
then
God, yes.
the coach decided he was going to make me a pole vaulter, which I was deathly afraid of heights at that time. So there's absolutely no way I was going to get 6 feet off the ground, let alone 12 feet off the freaking ground, being sprung up there by a freaking aluminum pole. That wasn't going to happen. So
Yeah, all bendy to to
yeah, it's
boot.
no, yeah, I'm not a pole vaulter. So yeah, I tried track, didn't like that so much, and then I got into hockey. And hockey wasn't one of those things where it wasn't because I was big or anything like that. It was I was small and I was fast and I could skate. And the team needed an extra person to play left wing, and then it said, "Hey, can you skate?" I said, "Yes." "Can you hit a puck?" "Not really." "Well, we'll teach you. Get out there." And so I started playing hockey, and that's
See,
that's
being small is good with hockey.
well, Wayne Gretzky was kind of a smaller guy. He made being small in hockey cool. Unfortunately, nobody on the planet is good enough to try to pretend to be Wayne Gretzky. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the older I got, the more I realized that I will never get anywhere past men's beer league hockey, and I was okay with that.
Weren't you a figure skater too? Or was that a joke one time?
No,
Is
okay.
that a joke one?
Let me tell that story. My daughter was a competitive figure skater. She was, ranked 16th in her region. She won, 50 some odd gold medals, a couple of silver medals, and a bronze medal.
Wow.
And she was extremely good. Well, at some of these some of these figure skating competitions, they have a it's just for fun. It's not anything that gives them more credit or anything like that. All it is something where you can skate with your daughter and do a routine together.
Okay.
So my wife thought it would be great if she entered me and my daughter. And I skate really well as a hockey player, not so much as a figure skater. However, I was able to pull off a couple of jumps and do a couple of knee bends and do some stuff. And we ended up winning the gold medal twice. The first
Oh my
time,
God.
yeah. So I'm a two-time gold medal figure skater, pairs figure skater, and I will I will
I
cherish those
love it.
moments for the rest of my life.
Oh my God, that's funny. I heard you mention that on a show when you were on some live stream or podcast or something, and I was like, maybe it was your own even, and I was like, oh my God. And he was a figure skater too? Like this guy just keeps surprising me.
Well,
But you
hold on
didn't tell
again.
that story.
Well, here's the thing. when we did it, I like to be, I like to be a clown. That's my thing is if I'm going to go out and do this, I want to entertain people. That is the first thought on my mind. So the first time we did this, the song that my wife picked the songs and then we had to come up with a routine to them. And the first time we did it, it was to this old song, I Can Do Anything Better Than You, where it's the guy
Oh
that
yeah.
battling back and forth.
Yeah.
And me and my daughter, we skated to that and it was really fun and it was entertaining. We had so much fun. And then at the end of it, she got to knock me over. She body checked me, knocked me over, and I went sliding across the ice. And I was wearing, my hockey gear, pads and everything. And she's wearing her dainty little, figure skating dress. And she comes and body checks me and I go flying. So it was so much fun. And we got such a huge reaction from it. The
No
next
doubt.
the next year when we went to that competition, they said, "Are you going to do anything?" And at that time, we said no. We didn't have anything planned. It was just, spur of the moment type of thing. Well, the people that ran the organization or ran that competition, like, oh, it was so entertaining. That is one of the things that we heard about all year long. I hope they come back and do this again. So my wife was going through YouTube videos trying to find a song, and she came across Weird Al Yankovic, "White and Nerdy."
Oh my God.
So
That is good.
I pull up my computer, I cut the music together. It's like 30 seconds long. Or no, it's a minute and 30 seconds. So I have to cut the music together real quick, and I slam it together. I burn it to a CD. We run it up there. I run out to the car, grab my skates. I didn't have anything, but I did have like I had a pair of shorts, like black shorts, dress shorts or type of deal. And my wife
Yeah.
ran to the dollar store, grabbed a couple of white button down shirts, a couple of neckties, bow ties, some like glasses, like dark frame reader glasses that we broke in half and
Oh,
taped with hockey tape. So we we went all out creating this costume. We literally had 1 hour to do this, and we got it done just in time. We get out there and we just ad-libbed this whole thing, and we ended up getting gold again.
wow.
And to do this, you actually have to be registered with the association as a figure skater. So yes, for 2 years I was registered as a figure skater.
Well, there you go.
Pretty pathetic, wasn't it?
Oh my God, that's funny. That is funny. I was a figure skater too for a while. Hated it. I
Oh,
hated it.
really?
It killed my feet, so I didn't like it. Yeah, yeah. I kind of dabbled in little things. It was like, okay, that was good for a little bit. Now I've had enough of that. Yeah, not but the one thing I did love and I dreamt of going pro. I was freaking awesome at it. I played it every day. And maybe because it's a solo sport, I'm not one of those ones to like follow the crowd. So, and I dreamt of, yeah, I'd like to be a pro, and that is tennis.
Tennis is awesome. I
Love.
was going to say badminton. I could see you as a badminton player. You
Oh, I love that too.
Yeah, I mean, I can see you handling that shuttlecock better than anybody else. But at the same time, tennis is a great sport. I think that's a lot
Oh,
of fun. I love playing it too. I just not good.
I was really good and I loved it. And I just loved just smoking that ball and I haven't played it for years now, but at one time I can honestly say that was the one thing and I would watch it and I remember at the time Yannick Noah, this black tennis player. He was like the hot thing at the time. And I would actually watch it on TV and I would watch the Open. And yeah, it was a big part of my life. So for someone who didn't grow up in sports and I was encouraged to do some things, that was the one thing that I came up with on my own, that it wasn't my mom or my dad. Usually it was my mom that put me in things that I really loved that. I still love that sport, and every once in a while I'll go play it. And I don't have my racket anymore or anything, but yeah, that's the only thing that one day I wanted to be a pro tennis player. Yeah.
For me, it's golf. Golf is my sport that I absolutely love. I am passionate about. And to be honest with you,
Really?
I wish I was better at it, but I am terrible, absolutely horrible at playing the game.
I did not. Okay, see, again, I'm learning something. I had no clue you loved golf.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for me it's golf.
Oh wow,
Golf
I
is
thought I
my
had that
sport
muted.
that-
Sorry, guys.
So yeah,
See, my favorite part of golf is riding the cart and handing out the shots. I'm good to like about the 12th hole, then my hands are killing me. I've had enough. I don't understand why people are doing this. I don't get golf. I go for a little, I go to hubby's company golf tournament and I ride the cart and I hand out, Sambuca and fireball shots and I'm good. I'm like, hit my ball for me. Like hit my ball. Like I'm done. And that's
So-
about it.
we have this game here. I'm sure you guys play it this way too, or some people play it up there this way. So we have this game that we play while we're playing golf. And that game is before you hit your ball, you have to drink a beer. So you get up to the tee box and you drink your beer, and then you get up there and you hit your ball and you finish that round or that hole. However, excuse me. Wow, bad hit. Anyways, if you can't hit it past the women's tee box, you have to play the rest of that hole with your pants down around your ankles.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you
No, no,
serious?
Absolutely. So,
I've never heard of that here.
Okay, so now you're learning a new way to play some golf and make it interesting. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I've got there's four of us playing this game, and we're at Fort Carson, Colorado, on their course. It's a beautiful course, and that day I didn't intend to play the game that way. However, by the second or third hole, it was getting really boring. People were starting to get pissed off already because, well, we all suck that bad, and a couple of us can't keep our tempers in check when we're playing a dumb game. I am not that. I recognize that I am not good. So if I hit a bad shot, oh well. I play the game so I can have that one great shot in 18 holes. All I need is one great shot, and it makes it worth it. But anyways, so that day, we get to the third hole. We say we're going to play that game. The problem with the game is we had already been drinking before the game started. So
Oh God.
I was already half tuned. And on the very first hole, I already shanked the ball bad enough and did not hit it past the women's tee box. So the chances of me doing it again during that day was very good. And I wasn't wearing any underwear. So,
That's right.
so I get up to I think it was like the fifth or sixth tee box, and I slam my beer. I'm getting ready to hit. I smack the hell out of that ball. It goes straight up in the air, straight back down. Not only did I not get it past the women's tee box, I didn't even get it 10 feet away from my tee. Because you have that nice big area that to tee off your tee box. I didn't even get it out of the men's tee box. So the rest of that hole, I had to play with my pants around my ankles, the dingleberries hanging down, the jungle beans flapping in the wind. And,
oh my God. Oh my God.
And just about
Did
that
it get
time-
burned?
No, I didn't get burned, but the beer cart girl did show up, and that was about as humiliating as it gets.
Oh my God.
Poor girl.
And you will
didn't
never forget that
even
golf
come
game.
up to-
Jeez. Oh my God. Okay, well, I can honestly say I've never heard of that game being played by anybody.
Just now, I always wear underwear when I go play golf. That's
Yeah.
the lesson learned. That is the major takeaway from this part of the show. Wear underwear when you play golf. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Just in case. You never know. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. Well, I want to know why, because we start off, we've been talking about sort of the men versus women as sports fans. Do you think there are more female sports fans now than there used to be?
I do. I think there's a lot more women who are sports fans now than there used to be. And the trend, I can even go back and kind of see where the trend started. And that was, you go back about 10 years ago when NASCAR was really getting popular. You had a lot of female fans that started flocking to the tracks, and they were buying the merchandise. And I was doing some research earlier today, and I found it interesting that there were more women buying sports merchandise than there are men buying sports merchandise. And an argument could be made there that, well, maybe they're buying it for their husbands, but the color schemes, when you look at what they're actually buying, the majority of the merchandise that they're buying is actually women's sports merchandise. So they're not buying it for their husbands or their sons or their friends. They're buying it for themselves.
Why?
That's
what I want to know.
Why? Well, quilting is kind of an old thing. Nobody does that anymore. Everybody needs a hobby. People love hobbies. We love to do something that just lets us forget about the BS of the day. And sports does that. It allows you to sit back and just go mindless for that next 2 to 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just find it really interesting that there are more female fans. I used to work with this woman, and she could tell you stats and players, hockey players. She was a major hockey fan. And it blew me away. Like, it blew me away. And they'd have a hockey pool when hockey season started at work, and it was really surprising to me. I wasn't used to that. And that was probably the beginning of it, probably like 10, 12 years ago, was like, wow. And now there's someone else. There's a different woman there that hubby works with. And she is a major football fan. And I have a lot of Facebook friends, female friends, that are like, football season starting. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, like, I've never, like, none of my friends are football or any sport. I have a girlfriend actually who's into baseball, but we don't talk about sports and we don't go to sporting events. But I'm seeing it more and more. I'm wondering, is it society that's changing? Is it relationships? Is it the way women are now, that sports comes across as sort of a power thing, and women are into that more? They're more.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think women are just finding that. Okay, so look at, I see this even if I go back in high school, in elementary school. Before our generation, there wasn't a whole lot for girls' sports. I mean, they didn't have girls' basketball in high schools until the mid 60s. Some schools, bigger schools, maybe had it in the 50s, but really they didn't have a whole lot for girls in sports other than cheerleading or maybe band and baton twirling. I don't know. But they really didn't have a whole lot for girls in extracurricular activities in sports.
That's true.
And then when you get into our generation, you see a whole lot more of it. You have girls basketball, you have girls softball, you have gymnastics, you have so many other sports. And now even in the generation, like my brother, he's a junior varsity coach for the wrestling team in Laverne, Minnesota. His daughter is one of the wrestlers on the team. So now you're starting to see girls kind of branch out into sports that even were always thought of as male dominated sports: hockey, wrestling, football, baseball. I mean, it's not just men's sports or women's sports anymore. It's just sports. So
Okay, I'll buy that. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just there's more opportunity now. They're
yeah,
given more opportunity to be able to do that. Okay,
right. And then the women who are
that's true.
now getting into watching sports are the same women who probably played sports, whether it be, you know, field hockey or even hockey, whatever it is. I mean, these women in our generation, they played sports pretty avidly growing up, and now they're becoming sports fans. So I think that's really where it all comes from.
Hmm. So I do like to watch hockey playoffs. I don't watch it from the beginning. I like it when it gets to the playoffs. I like it when it gets exciting. I like excitement. I like excitement. So I when it gets to the good parts, that's what I and unfortunately our team, the Vancouver Canucks, are just not they just have not done well for a long, long fucking time.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know, I've been a Minnesota fan since I was little. Minnesota North Stars. I got to see them win a Stanley Cup. That was super cool. Then the Minnesota Wild. They have been a nothing but a suck team. And then the last few years, they've actually gone to the playoffs a few times. So I get it. But when it comes to hockey, that is the one sport I can watch any game. It doesn't matter. The skill, the finesse, the power, everything that goes into playing that game. It's
Yeah.
beautiful to watch that game being played at the highest level. It's just phenomenal.
It is the work, the stamina that they need to have when they go and they get into overtime and they're just like you can see them sitting there and they're just like they're dripping, they're done. Like they're just they've given it. I mean, they just go and back and forth and the speed that they just go up and down that ice and it's it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So that is the one sport that I actually do like to watch. I think there's a lot of skill involved. I think there's a lot of stamina that's required above anything, except maybe, soccer. That's a big ass field and there's a lot of running happening going on there. So,
Yeah,
but
but
the
the
one
skill
sport I do
level,
not get, well, I don't
the
know because I
skill
don't really
level,
watch soccer.
yeah, with the skill level comparatively to hockey, I mean, you really, it's not fair to compare the two. Yes, they have to have an amazing amount of stamina. They have to be able to just run, 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 run. But at the same time, you get on those skates and you speed skate for 45 seconds, you're done. You just
Hmm.
you can make a sprint up and down a field a couple of times before you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. I gotta, cramp, coach, take me out. I got a cramp. It's right here. And yeah, but no, it's crazy. And hockey is a sport that doesn't stop. I mean, you change on the fly. Everything happens nonstop. So
I think that's why I like it because it's fast. It's
yeah,
like we're not slowing down. It's go, go, go. And I think that's why that's the one sport that I can sit and watch.
I mean,
The one I don't get
I'm sorry. Go
is
ahead.
football. The one I don't get is football. I don't know why they run for 10 seconds, the whistle blows, they stand around, they look at each other. They don't look, it looks like they don't even know what's going on. Then they're ready to go again.
It's
Then they
like, okay,
freaking go, they throw the ball. two
here's
two
football for
freaking steps later the whistle goes again, they stop, they're looking around, there's three
here,
coaches there.
here's football for you. Okay, so everybody gets in this nice tight huddle and they sit there and you wonder what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, how's the kids doing? How's the wife? Hey, I saw your wife at the store the other night. Yeah, she's looking pretty good these days. You might want to keep an eye on her. And that what goes on? I mean, is that what they're doing? And then okay, hey guys, and the plays. I mean, they know what they're gonna do. The guy comes running in from the sideline and says, "Hey, we're gonna do a 32 dive." That took me 2 seconds to say, hey, we're going to do a 32 dive on 3. Okay, let's go. But they sit in that huddle for like 30, 40 seconds. Then they get up to the line and the quarterback just kind of sits there, stretches a little bit, taps his center on the balls a little bit, puts his hands up underneath his ass cheeks and says, hike. I mean, come on, seriously? And then it's like, go. Then they're done. And then they got another 2 minutes. Yeah, I get it. I don't like football just because it's such a drag sport. And yeah, there's some exciting plays, and those exciting plays are just like, oh, yeah, then it's over, and it's like,
I know.
Yeah, it's just done.
I don't get it. It takes them, I don't know how freaking long to get from the center of the field to the freaking end of the field. Like that could go on for 20 minutes to get to the end of the field because they've stopped 5 freaking times. They stand around more than they play. You never see them like spent and sweating and, heavy breathing. They're standing around looking good with their round butts and their tight pants, and they're all,
But, here's what I think is funny. You never see a hockey player come off the ice and grab an oxygen mask and hold it up to their face. But yet you see all these linemen coming off the field. Their energy is like spent. They do 10 seconds. Of actual playing time in that 20 minutes, they've probably played for 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, in 20 minutes, and they come off the field and they've got oxygen masks held up to their face, huffing and puffing like they smoke 4 packs a day. I don't get it. I don't understand how that is a sport. I mean, I get it's a sport. I know, guys, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I mean, don't hate me because I don't like football. But seriously, guys, why is it that we are so intimidated if women know more about the sport than you do? In my family, my wife knows way more about what's going on in football than I do. I mean, shit, she sits there and gives me rundowns all day long. The Colts are doing this. The Browns have done this. The Broncos have done this. Oh, by the way, Broncos fans are nuts. They're fucking nuts. So if you're a Broncos fan out there, you're nuts. That's mainly for my wife. And for the rest of us, us Vikings fans, we know what disappointment is. We are very good losers. We know what it's like to get to the next to the big game, not in the big game. We will never know what it's like to get in the big game, but we know what it's like to get next to the big game and lose it all. So we're very good losers. We're good at disappointment. We do that very well. But it is what it is.
Around here, it's a little bit different here in Canada. I mean, football is big, but it's nowhere near as big as it is in the States.
No.
So, you have the NFL, we have the CFL. It's mostly the prairie provinces. They are diehard football fans in the prairie provinces. I mean, they play outdoors. It's like -25. It's snowing. Yes. They're watching a game. Like,
how you guys call
them, in the prairies.
So
what?
So I love how
you
call them prairie provinces. It's like
why? Why is that so funny?
Because it reminds me of like, back in the 16th century, and you had your nobles and your serfs, and it's like, that's the prairie provinces.
But people know that's what we say. They know that the prairie provinces, the Maritimes, the East, the prairie provinces, BC. That is Canada.
Okay, well, I get you. I get it, but it's just funny. It's and I guess in the U.S. we do something similar. We got, we got the Midwest. I mean, come on, when you say word Midwest, you still thinking ding 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 ding. I mean,
yeah.
Do you guys even have cars?
Yeah.
No, we actually ride horse and buggy still.
Yeah.
I've had.
Yeah, that's how people know. But it's not as big up here as it is down there in football. And college football is crazy down in the U.S. It's not like that up here. So usually football comes, there is the Canadian teams that people watch, but when they really get into football season, I mean, for us, the closest team is the Seattle Seahawks. So everybody here is like a Seahawks fan, just about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one we go for, right? But yeah, it's that's not really something that we grew up here. Football isn't that big up here. Um, it gets watched in our house, not because of me, and it's only usually the playoffs. So I can't say there's a massive fan in my house for sports.
That's all right. There's, massive fans in my house. We've got enough to make up for what you got. Now, I will admit, I love the fact that my oldest daughter is a Vikings fan. My youngest daughter is a Broncos fan, along with my wife. And we're kind of split half and half, so it's
That's
a good
good.
thing, AFC and NFC, though. So we really don't have a whole lot of, hatred. Now, my sister-in-law is a Detroit Lions fan. We can't all be perfect. I mean, somebody has to like the worst team in the league. Other than the Browns, I don't think anybody's as bad as Detroit. But yeah, it is what it is.
I've never even heard of them. So do you guys do a big I've never heard that team. Do you guys do a big Super Bowl party?
Yes, we do. We every year it's like
Yeah, you'd have to.
We do. We either host one or we attend one. It's one of the and we try to go every couple of years. That way we're not always hosting, because after a Super Bowl party, it's worse cleanup after a Super Bowl party than it is actually after Christmas. So, yeah, we try not to host one every year.
That's cool. I think it's very interesting. I think it definitely sports are much more in the mainstream. They're much more, and I love that more girls are involved in sports. I think that, the friendships that are made, we all want to belong to something. And hey, if you want to belong to a sports team and feel like you're part of them, and that makes you feel good. I mean, we all want to be part of something.
Yeah.
So kudos to the girls that go play sports, and I think that's great. It's really eye-opening to me. And yeah, it's especially the football thing. I think they just like the tight pants, round butts, and the black guys. I think that really is what it comes down to. I think that's it. I think that's it for football. And if that's the case, then I get it.
There you go, and there you have it. So there
that's
it is.
My final commentary.
Here it is, men versus women. Women, I believe, are the winners. You are the super fans. That is coming straight from my mouth to your ears. I hope you enjoyed this probably one in a lifetime episode of Sports on Grit and Grace TV. Hey, Lynn, why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of us?
Yes, this will be the last sports one. Maybe. Yeah, you can find us if if audio is the best thing for you, you can go to our website at gritandgracetv.com. We are available through iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Pippa, TuneIn, and you can also catch us Monday nights at 9 Pacific on milehighradio.com. But all the ways we're available is on our website. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you want to make sure you never miss an episode of Grit and Grace TV, you can find that subscribe button on our website, gritandgracetv.com. And come and hang with us on Facebook. So facebook.com/Grit and Grace TV, because we post all kinds of stuff that relates to the shows or just some offhand thing that we find is really interesting and a little bit off to make people think. So, and the cool thing is nobody knows whether it's you that posts it or me that posts it.
I like that part. I really like that part a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and I also want to say too that if you have an idea, if you have a comment, if you have an idea for a show, something that maybe could be even a little risque, because we've talked about all kinds of stuff. You can submit your idea, or if you have a question, because we want to start doing Q&A shows only on Fridays. So if you have a question with something that you're struggling with, or you're not quite sure what to do, or you have a really challenging situation, you can suggest or ask a question anonymously on our website. You just have to click on the comment or question tab. It is absolutely anonymous. I am not just saying that. We have no clue. So please do that.
I don't have nothing to say.
Here you go.
What the hell? How do I
said it all?
I guess we did say it all. So thank you everybody for checking out Grit and Grace. We do really appreciate each and every one of you. You have no idea how much we enjoy coming to you each week and just having a good time talking to you, talking to each other, and having fun with the comments that you share with us in the comment section. So until next week, everybody, thank you for watching. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect solution.
Peace. Stay wild, everybody.
Bye.